Now, Luke, the other big storyline that is flashing on our screens right now, Klay Thompson, 13 seasons with the Warriors, now headed elsewhere. It seems like the two teams in talks for him, the Mavs and the Lakers. Where do you think he fits best? What do you think this that looks like for Klay moving forward?
Yeah, I think the Mavericks are intriguing because they desperately needed shooting in the finals, but they're still a good three-point shooting team on paper. I think there's an avenue for him to go there now with Derrick Jones Jr. being out. It'll be interesting to see what kind of contract he gets. Look, the heartstrings are going to be the Lakers. You know, his dad, Michael Thompson, played there. Clay has always been linked to the Lakers. It's always been one of those things that if he's not at Golden State, what are they going to do? The Lakers seem like a viable fit. I think he probably ends up going to LA. I think that is a place where, with JJ Redick, will value shooting. It's something that has clearly lacked with the Lakers the last couple years. I think he goes there, but honestly, the better fit would be for Dallas because he has played and thrived off the ball for so many years with Steph Curry that Luka and Kyrie can kind of be those guys to facilitate for him. I don't know how easy it is for him to just transition and be plopped into LA, where it's not going to be so much. They want it to be space and pace, but they don't really have the personnel to do that. So Dallas is the better fit for him. I think he ends up going to LA.
But Luke, you never bought the smoke of Klay Thompson and the Orlando Magic being a potential pairing?
No, I did not. I did not think it was going to be. I didn't think Klay would want to go to something that, and I say this not as what the situation is with the Magic, but someone like Klay might view it. A guy that's won 4 titles, perennial all-star, played with the greatest of all time. He'll look at the Magic as a project because they're still ascending. They're still not completely established as what they are. They're still growing. So he was never going to go there. Now, do I think he could have listened? Yes, but I think the Magic ended up getting the best guy possible for their wallet and the situation in KCP. But I don't think the Klay fit was ever going to work. There was a much better chance of actually getting Paul George than there was a Klay Thompson.
KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Why is he the right fit, Luke, for the Orlando Magic?
Because he's plug and play. You drop him in, and he's the right player at the right time. They get him. Everyone wins in this situation. KCP gets over $20 million per year for the first time in his career, and he's earned it. He's a 2-time champ. He's a very good perimeter defender and a 3-point shooter. The last box is what the Magic absolutely need checked. That's what they needed. What they wanted was the other box and an elite perimeter defender. Jamal Mosley is a guy that likes full court pressure. He likes guys that are able to extend. He wants you to hound the ball specifically on pick and rolls. KCP can do that. And you look at it with where they're at in shooting. I mean, it cost them Game 7 last year. They're going to the Eastern Conference semifinals if they can hit threes. And this was one of those things where it was, let's take care of everything else and try and get shooting. This has always been an organization that does not go, oh, great, a shooter. That's all we care about. They have to have every other box check specifically for how Jamal Mosley wants to play offensively and through Paolo and Franz. So this is the right move. And I think what it's most important is it signals the process and where this organization is at in their growth. They had to be bad a few years ago. They sold the farm at the trade deadline, got rid of Nikola Vucevic, Evan Fournier, Aaron Gordon. They started from scratch. They had 2 really bad years. They get Paolo, Franz, Jalen Suggs. They're ascending. And as a small market team, this is the place you want to be at right now. Getting guys that want to be there. And KCP has 2 rings. KCP is a very critical piece to the Lakers bubble run and the Nuggets the last couple years. So him choosing Orlando is a huge feather in their cap. It reminds me a lot of the 94-95 team with Shaq and Penny when Horace Grant left Chicago after 3 titles and chose Orlando. Now, he gets about $6 million more a year, but he would have been satisfied probably staying in Denver and being able to compete for titles, but he wanted to be in Orlando. That was a place for him, and this is the guy the Magic wanted for the right price, right fit, right situation.
Let's touch them all. We touched upon the team you used to cover and still keep tabs on in the Orlando Magic, Luke. Now the team that you do cover, the Atlanta Hawks, trading DeJounte Murray. We just outlined how Orlando tore it down just 3-4 years ago. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like the Hawks are headed towards a similar trajectory, and could Trae Young be next?
Trae Young could be next. I don't think he will be next. I think he's got a couple years left on his deal. He's very close with Nick Ressler, the owner's son. That has been a relationship that has been well documented. Nick Ressler was very influential in getting DeJounte Murray to Atlanta to begin with. That was a move that was made that did not have the support of, at the time, GM Travis Schlenk. That's why he is no longer there. That move also accelerated then Landry Fields stepping into the GM role. And Nick Ressler, there's been talk of him having so much power within this organization based on his relationship with Trae Young. Trae's made it clear he wants to win, but he would like it to be in Atlanta. Trae also signed with CAA, signed with Calvin Andrews. He wants to be in LA. He wants to be that guy that can go play with LeBron and win a title and be that missing piece. I don't know if they let it happen. I don't know if they're able to make it happen, because right now, Trae Young is a very, very good player, but based on how he plays and let's call it what it is, how he may be perceived league-wide, not being on an Olympic team, not being asked to represent the country in FIBA or anything like that, his stock is a little bit low. It was much easier for this organization to trade DeJounte Murray, even though he's probably the guy the Hawks would have more success building with. So right now, they're at a standstill. If they're going to want to be successful with Trae, they're going to have to make 2 or 3 more moves to make him happy. If not, they're going to have to try and find a suitor for him. And there will be some out there, but at the right price. And if the Hawks get enough in return, I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. So my guess is they'll probably just end up biting the bullet and riding this thing out for another few years.
Last one for you, one Luke Hetrick of WSB up in Atlanta. It's the last bullet point when Taylor and I sat down and said, what do we want to ask Luke about? And I literally typed out, the Lakers have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever in the fact that LeBron James is going to decline his option, try to restructure a new deal. Wouldn't it be hilarious if he just up and left them with Bronny? I know it's not going to happen, but I had to get your opinion on the nepotism war that will continue and rage on in Southern California.
My girls are on demon time right now.
I didn't ask you about Caitlin Clark. Our listeners, our Heeligans, really want me to, but we're going to run out of time.
Oh, no, you asked me about Caitlin. You asked me about Caitlin all you want. No, LeBron does have the funniest thing to do, because wouldn't it be great? It honestly would be better for Bronny if he did leave, where it's like, hey, I got you the job. I got you in the door. Mm-hmm. And based on some of the quotes that Bronny said, I want to make my own name, be my own man. I'm focused on my career. That would kind of be the right way of doing it. Like, hey, I don't have to be in Dad's shadow. Dad doesn't have to stand up for me. Like, if Bronny does something that a teammate doesn't like and they're in a scuffle at practice, is LeBron going to take the teammate's side, even if Bronny's wrong? Like, how does that work? Where it's like, Bronny, you just might have to learn not having Dad's shadow cast over you. Really more of a protective bubble. So I'm kind of for it, but LeBron won't do that.
It would be the funniest.
And he shouldn't be. This has been a goal of his. Like, look, with all the nepotism stuff in the NBA that we're talking about, nepotism is rampant in the NBA. I just mentioned it in Atlanta. It's fine. It's fine for LeBron to do this. If anyone's deserving of it, it's him. His son almost died a year ago. Go enjoy the time and savor the year or two you have with him. But I'm also someone that subscribes to chaos. Man, that would be fun.
Demon time.
It was like on draft night, and everybody was posting like, oh, the Celtics have the opportunity to do something hilarious here. It was like right.
I would have been in full support of it. I would have been just to add another layer to the rivalry. And then we get angry LeBron, who's like, go out and make every move possible to get me stars so I can dethrone Boston.